This is his final chance to force himself into a deep run in the Pro Series and maybe get himself back somewhere near the winner's enclosure. Simon Webb and Stephen Jameson on commentary for you, and the hammer starts with a hammer.
Yeah, doesn't he just? That is the perfect archetypal Stevie Dempsey break. When he is rolling, that's what he does on repeat. Excellent break from Stevie to get us started.
I think the thing for Stevie this year is it's been a down year. There's no, he can't hide that. The results aren't there. But I think the confidence has just dipped a little bit. And all those matches he was edging out in last year, getting himself into the finals, winning the tournament, he's now finishing on the wrong side of, take the match he played first round on Thursday, Christy Caulfield. He lost out in a deciding frame, and he had his opportunity to win it, missed a ball in the decider that cost him the frame ultimately and the match. And those were the matches he was winning the previous year or two, and that's what's happened to him this year. So he really just needs a return to form. He needs to find something. We know when he's at his best, he wins tournaments.
Yeah, completely. And we've spoken a lot about how almost fickle this game can be at times. It can make fools of us all in lots of ways, players included. And I think for Stevie, he had a phenomenal run last year, but when you have runs like that, they are, by their very nature, by the way that this sport works, they are by their very nature, held together by thin pieces of thread, and it's about whether you fall on the right side of a coin flip sometimes. And Stevie found a way and found a habit of ending up more times than not on the right side of it, but that's not particularly easy to do. And the only player who's ever, at least in ultimate pool terms, found a way to consistently manage that is Tom Cousins, and he's done it for the better part of 2 and a bit years now. No one has ever had a run like that. We've seen streaks, we've seen runs for Stevie. See Shane Thompson, see Mick Hill. They did the same thing. They put together streaks and purple patches where they were, for a time, almost unbeatable. And Stevie had that, and he's looking to just find a way back towards a bit of form and confidence, because the one thing you can say about Stevie is the level is there. His game is fantastic, and with a few wins under his belt, don't doubt he can put together something of a return to form in terms of getting close to titles again.
Yeah, and he started well here. This has been an excellent visit. Had to work hard to get down to this simple 8 ball. And I agree with you completely, but what it does show is just how fine the lines and the margins are out there. Stevie Dempsey was the second best player in the world by a margin last year. He now knows deep down inside that he's capable. I mean, you as a player, you always say to yourself that you believe that you can play the level that can get there. You just need the rubs to come through the field. But having now done that and got to the final, he now knows that he's capable. And next time he'll get there, that's the challenge, is get there again and try and go that one extra step.
Yeah, agreed. And he's had a good few weeks in truth, as Marc Fleming knocked in the winning 8 ball at the European Championships or was it the World Championships? I apologise for.
Yeah, the World. Yeah,
for Scotland in the black ball Worlds. And
no apologies for being confused. There's so many of them these days. Yeah. It's so hard to work out what's going on when it comes to international pool.
Yeah, correct. But yeah, nevertheless, a huge win for a very, very good Scottish team. And I know from watching the clips of the celebrations meant an awful lot to Marc. And yeah, a good run he's on at the moment. And wouldn't have surprised me to see him pop up late in one of these tournaments this weekend. Didn't get a run going in Pro Series 9, but this is the final one of the year. Chance for him to make one last contribution to his Pro Series year.
Tom Cousins did for Marc in event 9. Good match, actually. Marc didn't do a huge amount wrong, and Tom just was able to find a way, as he so often does. But we were talking yesterday off air, actually, how we're both big fans of Mark and his brother Ryan, actually. It's a shame we don't get to see Ryan here this weekend. Two players that add a lot to the tour.
Yeah, they add a lot to the game as well. You know, what they do up in Scotland, that wonderful chain of bars that they've now got. They're just such fans of the game. They do an awful lot for the sport, I think.
Opens up the yellow. Does he get an angle to come back across? Oh, the red's going to be awkward here. There was a lot going on in that shot, and odds against it coming out perfectly, and it hasn't come out perfectly, but he has, I guess, a shot, but he's going to have to come up with something big here.
Yeah, there's 100% a case for taking the yellow he's closest to first.
I don't see how else he goes here. If he goes down the table, then he's not going to get better than he is now.
Yeah.
But this is super high tariff. Oh, he's not even taking it on. Okay. Just a hair short. If the yellow goes another half a turn and the cue ball goes half a turn, what he wants there is the cue ball to be all but touching the red, but not touching.
Yeah, he's left the red at the top of the table, so Stevie's got a free go at these. Essentially, he can take these on. Yeah,
and yellow hasn't quite popped over the middle enough to kind of put the pressure on. So nearly a good choice of shot, or I guess it was a good choice of shot, just not the execution. Stevie decides just to be patient.
I'm a little surprised at that. Don't feel like that red was a particularly tough make, and for a player of Stevie's level, thought those reds were all pretty open. Can Mark pull off? I think he might be able to see the edge of this yellow, you know. If he can maybe have a dip. He could. Ooh, he wasn't far away.
I think he was, but nearly made it off the red. In the end, Stevie gets what he wanted, cue ball in hand, and opportunity to go here. With cue ball in hand, you always put yourself on your hardest ball. You can make a case it's this one or the one on the right-hand side to bottom right, but he's got the one to right centre to get himself perfectly on that ball, or one of the ones to top right corner. So the one he's just potted was the hardest one to land nicely on. A layout that he should get. Down a little bit short if he was planning on just playing on it, so he might have to play a little controlled cannon that can go wrong. If he goes right centre and catches the top side of the red, send the red down towards the bottom corner, he'll stay on the other one in the triangle area. I'm sure he would have wanted to be straight in and then you're just dropping in. It's still controllable. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, played that lovely.
Very much the start that Stevie was looking for. If you lose early in event 1 of the weekend, or event 9 as it was this time round, you've got a long time to wait before you play your next game, so it's another big trophy to hand out. But before we do that, we will have the last 32 stage of the Pro Series. This is obviously from the last 64, played to a conclusion tomorrow.
Fabulous break again from Stevie. short position on the yellow is lovely, because that plant was fairly accessible. And now he's just got one more little bit of work to do. I'd have to row back just a touch to see if there was a red available. I'm assuming there wasn't, because of where the 8-ball is. I think you'd almost always want to be reds here. I don't think he had one available, so yellows it is. It is just the 8-ball to solve.
Yeah, thoughts are left centre, on and off the cushion, and just bump the red out the way. Maybe an option. The red to the right of the 8-ball means the one bottom of the table isn't a great ball to do it with. This looks like it's a touch thin. My worry for Stevie would be if he plays it now and gets the underside of the red or almost the gap, he could land on nothing.
Well, he's got a couple of balls to the right centre that are almost insurance. I think that's his thinking.
That's why he's screwed into it, but it's not come well. Might have the angle to screw straight back into it again.
I think he does. He's got a little bit. He's been unlucky, obviously, but he's had a bit of a touch to follow it.
Oh, gets the double kiss again.
Double kiss is so tough there. Speaking of doubles, he'll probably have to come low for a double attempt. I think that's his only real option now, unless he can maybe have another fly into it off this yellow.
Too risky, isn't it? Yeah, too risky. I think he might have been better for me in dropping that in and playing for the last yellow top right corner, and then, as you say, pulling back for the double. Now he's got a thin clip in, which obviously is far easier than a pot to top right corner, but the cue ball's much tougher. Yeah, and the cue ball's gone wrong. Sometimes you just got to take, you're not where you want to be, take what you can get. If Stevie had gone the way I suggested and pulled back for the double, he's going to go very close to making it 9 times out of 10. He probably makes it 6 or 7 if he lands nicely on it, maybe even higher if he lands really good on it. Now he's very low percentage. Just trying to figure out, can you play the loss of turn and leave Marc with a really tough shot and the 8-ball somewhere near the corner pocket? Probably not. Oh, how good is that? Oh, it's not going to fall.
Would you believe it?
Luckily for Stevie, it didn't fall because the cue ball has obviously disappeared. But this is brilliant. Look at that nudge, though, on the red. Weighed up all the options and felt all-out attack was the way, and it normally is when you're that deep in a finish. And ultimately, it should cost him the frame.
Yeah, you'd expect so.
That red that he's moved around the tables just landed awkward enough that this isn't guaranteed for Marc. That has not worked either. So 2 shots gone wrong in this visit, meaning Marc Fleming is probably going to have to pull out a big plant. He could go top right corner and leave a double. Depends which he prefers, the plant or the double. Pot to top right corner isn't exactly hanging over the pocket either. I think I like the pot to top right and the plant. Sorry, the double rather. A little bit more angle than I was expecting, so he might come across the table. Yeah, he is trying to play on it.
It's a lovely shot.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Best shot Marc's played in the match so far.
Yeah, really lovely shot. He's even got a little bit of angle just to work this around. Really nice. Do love Marc's mannerisms around the table. He's a very distinctive player when he's in action. Saw one of Aaron Davies' now infamous Facebook videos where he replicates all of the pros and does a guess who, and his Marc Fleming was very, very good. Amy versus Emma is a biggie.
Yeah, watch out for Mary Talbot though. I think she's a player coming from the snooker world that she will win a title sooner rather than later. Keep an eye on her.
Yeah, beat Megan Proctor 7-5 in the last 16. Did
Megan's
Mary
going very well. Kirsty Davies obviously flying at the moment as well. Two big names missing out, Harriet Haynes and Marion Jude out early.
Well, they actually drew each other in the first round. And Harriet edged the win. She was then dispatched though by Kerry Griffiths in the last 16. Great win for Griff. Emma Cunningham absolutely flying in the women's draw as it stands. 7-2 over Jodie Holt, 7-0 over Sandra Bryan. And she's going to need to play well. It's Amy Beecham awaiting her in the quarterfinals. Get the sense that both of those ladies, who are the two women on the Pro Series, or two of the women on the Pro Series, I should say, that they would really, really like to end the year on a high on the women's series. They're probably not done as well there as they might have, and I think we spoke about this earlier on in the week. I think there's a lot of factors going into that, as we see.
Yeah.
Marc with a couple more balls before his 8 ball. He's gone about these again really nicely. It was a good break. It was a good split. He's taken these out consummately so far. He would have loved to have been holding straight on this red, but it's not a huge problem. He can go up and down if he needs to. Just needs to measure it. Might even still be able to hold and just come straight back. Now chooses up and down. Gets the spin on it. Happy days. There's those mannerisms that we talk about. I have to say, it is complete horses for courses. It's whatever sort of gets the job done for you. There's no right or wrong way to address the ball and all the rest of it. He has been breaking really, really well in this match so far. That is no exception.
Yeah, come out a little tricky again though.
I think yellows are okay.
Yeah, the question is for me, can you play the yellow top right corner off the red to pop the other yellow open, or if not, can you play super short position? I don't think you can play that yellow popped off the yellow. I think it popped off the red. I don't think that's quite on. So it's all about the top right corner and how he decides to deal with it.
He could go off it after it now. He may even have a slight angle here where he can almost, you can throw it wide off the right rail and come into the red and yellow that way, almost split the gap. He's slightly left of the centre line on this shot, which means if he's going bottom of the cue ball, so definitely not going that way. Did play it off the red, and that was okay. And I think the two yellows do go independently of each other at the top of the table, so that's not the end of the world how that's come out. He can't take it to top right, but he can sneak back around off the top one here.
Yeah, they both went into the same pocket. Actually landed nicely, although this one is a couple of rolls short because he wants to hold for the 1 by the 8 ball. Yeah, it's actually going to cause him an issue here. Might have to, depends how, if he can control it. If the natural line is above the centre pocket, he could probably just drop this in dead weight. If he has to spin it wider, then he has a problem. Oh, that's excellent. Kills it in really, really well. That was delicate operation, but he's landed perfect. Very good from the Hammer.
You know, I think there's quite a decent pack of players who would look at just winning an event as sort of been, it's been a solid year. And well, I think Stevie's one of them.
I think for anyone not named Tom Cousins, winning one tournament a year would be considered a good year. Tom's on the kind of 3 to 4 a year kind of form at the moment, and that's not including the peripherals in terms of the other Ultimate Pool events around the world, the franchise events, just on the pro circuit.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's an element of, you know, it is a bit boom or bust to that sort of mentality, because I think the players we're talking about here are good enough to think, yeah, win one title, decent year, but also don't win a title, a bit of a down year.
Yeah.
So it is a tough sort of position to be in. For the likes of Craig Waddingham, who's now doubled up. He's won 2 this year.
Well, we've got Tom winning 3, just in Ultimate Pool Pro terms, that is 3. Craig with 2, John McAllister with 2, and then a bunch with 1, obviously, including your Chris Melling, your Declan Brennans, Chipper Fields, and
Luke Gilbert,
Scott Gillespie.
Oh, Stevie, you come far enough. Might be a reroute here for the Hammer. I'm sure he wanted to be on that one to the top right.
He can work from here, though.
He can.
Right now, you're talking about it's that time of year to start looking at it. Obviously, there's no debate with anybody, Stephen, about who the top player, who's the player of the year. Of course, it's Tom Cousins. He's won 3 titles. He's won the WPF World Masters. He's won in Morocco. He's won in America. He's won just titles everywhere he's gone. He's even won Chinese 8-ball, American. He's been the best player this year again. Who's your number 2? Who's been the second? Last year it was Stevie Dempsey. Who is it? Who's this year? Who's been the best player outside of Tom Cousins for you?
Ooh, it's a good question. I think year-round consistency, I would just about give Declan Brennan the edge.
Yeah.
But I think at the start of the year, so if you divide the year into 3, I think you've got John McAllister, Chris Melling, and Craig Waddingham sort of in chronological order, because I think John was amazing at the start of the year.
He was, and the back end of last year as well.
Yeah, he really was phenomenal. And obviously he's got a lot going on off the table.
Not here this weekend, obviously new father this weekend, so recently. So
at the moment, so congratulations to John and of course Danielle as well. But he had an amazing start to the year. And it's sort of, I think, tailed off as sort of, other things have taken priority, and, all completely okay. Chris Melling had a hot streak in the summer where he was unbelievable. I still think, when every single player plays at 100%, Chris Melling is the only one who can do things that others simply cannot.
Yeah.
All things being equal. And then I think Craig Waddingham has ended the year with 2 Pro Series titles. You simply cannot say fairer than that.
Very, very consistent year for Jack Whelan as well. Right, time for Marc Fleming to find something. He's had to sit and watch the last 2 frames, and he's got an opportunity here off the Stevie Dempsey break to try and impose himself back on the match. So far, it's going in bunches of 2. 2-0 Stevie, 2-2, now 4-2 Stevie. Slight hold of the hand from Mark there, because that was a good nudge, but it was an excellent shot.
Yeah, he earned that.
Yeah. I can't get on board with all the hand raising out there. We saw a lot of it from Jack Whelan yesterday. If you don't play the shot perfectly, there seems to be a little hold of the hand to say, "I got away with that." It's all good out there. Just accept what happens. And you don't need to acknowledge it every time.
Yeah, agreed. But I think I understood Jax a little bit because I think he knew he wasn't playing particularly well. And as he said in his interview afterwards, he felt like it had been a robbery if he'd have won that game, which I can see why he thought that. Yeah, I think there's certain players who hold themselves to higher standards. They almost do feel apologetic if they get lucky. But it's all part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, without wanting to go into other cue sports, one player you never see do any of that, if we're talking about cue sports in general, is Ronnie O'Sullivan. You never see him hold up his hand, and he never seems to get annoyed if anyone has a bit of rub against him. It's just part of the game. This has been good from Marc. Got himself in absolutely perfect position 4 out. Never looked in any danger of not getting out here.
Yeah, been a really high quality match between these two. Been very, very impressed indeed.
Another Hill. Luke Gilbert's just got over the line against Ian Alley, 7-6. Some good matches out there. Connor Tracy, 7-6 over the buzzer, Brian Howcrow. Oh, he was dangerously close to the top right-hand corner. I think he's been bumped in, so Stevie has an opportunity to break the pattern of the match. There's also plenty of matches in action outside of ours. Chris Day and Phil Parkin are just in frame 2. Chris won the first one. Matt Cooks won the first one against Josh Kane. All square, Tom Jones and Carl Sutton at 1-1. Azar, Sean Story and Callum Singleton. John Rose won it up over Ollie Barker. And Hitan Patel's taken the first frame against Cormac Kerr. So that's all from the same section of the draw. The winner of our match will play the winner of that Hitan Patel and Cormac Kerr match. One tricky red left at the top of the table. It does go through the gap of the yellows. I wonder if he's thinking about leaving it for left centre. Top right corner connects to left centre better than connecting the two together. Now, if he could have got rid of the top right corner, then come down the table, then he could have played up for it. But you'd have to get up far enough up the table to make sure that you don't make it awkward getting onto the 8 ball. If you leave it at a low angle, then you're kind of going towards it and the yellows. So I really do like left centre as your last ball. Let's see how Stevie plays it. He could use the top cushion and come back out. Well, Stevie agreed for left centre, but he's played a horrific shot. I can't believe how poorly he's played that. It was a simple one just to land behind it. Worst case scenario, you're going to end on a bottom corner, but I mean that's the worst shot of the match. Stevie will be mortified with what he's left himself here. And bearing in mind he had an opportunity to sort of steal one away and kind of break this pattern a little bit earlier on. That was for what 3-0, and now he's it's. Oh, this will be a gift if he doesn't pull one out here. It is a gift.
Oh, he's had second prize though. It's absolutely a present for Marc Fleming, but he's got work to do here. This frame's not over yet. Because that yellow is now a problem, and Stevie can still potentially win this frame. He can just fight on, and he's going to need a little bit of luck to go his way, but he's got a foothold at least. Can't foul. Cue ball in hand is the one to avoid. Oh, what a shot. What a shot that is. Marc Fleming cannot believe it. He cannot believe what a good shot that is. And there's an element of luck, of course, because you can't legislate for how that's come out so well, but goodness me, that's an unbelievable result for Stevie Dempsey. Marc Fleming is in absolute nightmare land here.
Unless he's touching ball, and then he's got a chance. If he's touching ball, he should be able to hide this cue ball. And he must be touching the way he's played that.
Oh, well, that does change things, yeah.
Well, that's like the second case result for. As we have another look, it's a great shot from Stevie. Okay, he's left the red on, has Marc, but he's blocked the 8 ball.
I don't know if he was touching ball there, you know. Because I looked at, I didn't think he was. I didn't hear it called by the ref. As I say, I may be wrong. But I think he was just forced into playing that shot that he has.
Well, it makes the shot that he's played even better. In which case, it's a great result. I mean, it is a great result anyway. Oh, Stevie Dempsey, take a bow.
Oh, Stevie!
Take a bow.
What a shot. The hammer hammers in one of the shots of the weekend. What an absolute bullet. This is so good. Because it's no good just potting the reds. You've got to develop the 8 ball, and he's done that with an absolute cracker.
And he backs it up with an excellent break. Biggest challenge here in trying to go 3 in front for the first time will be that 8 ball. This could be one of those where you just got to back yourself to land on the 8 ball nicely. This is where I like the new table, Stephen, simply because, you know, as much as 8 ball's in an awkward position, when the pockets were playing that little bit more generous, you'd always say just back yourself to get on it, and if you land nice, you're not going to miss it. Now you've got to land on it and still cue in a great shot. I just think it adds to the tariff and adds to the sort of quality and the drama at professional level.
Absolutely. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Quite like leaving low angle on the red to right centre.
apart from the fact the yellow's on the top cushion, I was just thinking the natural coming off the top cushion to track behind it. But he's not going to do that because of the yellow on the top cushion. It sort of plays quite big. So I think he's just backing himself to make the double rather than playing on it. You can't screw across and you're not going to get right behind it. You drop this in, you're going to have the back double, one you should make. No. No, narrow. Another big moment in this match. Stevie Dempsey teapots it back to the chair.
Yeah.
Marc now has to win this frame, really. Some moments are bigger than others, and that could be, in terms of allowing Marc back into this one, a big one for Stevie. Not just an opportunity to go one away and three in front. That was an opportunity to build on the back of what he did in the previous frame with that hammer blow of a double. If that one lands, he's really hurting Marc Fleming. Now he's allowed him into this frame. If Marc can take these out, back within one and back with the break. A little straight here. He wanted to be able to pull back to almost the centre of the table to have that 3/4 ball angle to really get behind the 8 ball. Now if he just sort of pulls it back a few inches, he's going to be too thin. Almost needs to pull it back as far as he is now. Oh, he has just half a turn of angle, so just needs to try and pull it back into that. Yeah, he was okay. Had that. Thought he was absolutely plumb straight. Allowed him to get the angle he needed to get right behind this 8 ball.
Still a tester. And it flies.
Oh, cue ball again. It's too dangerously close to the top right-hand corner too many times in the match.
It's been costly for him, hasn't it?
Kicked in, of course, so you can kind of feel a little bit hard done by, but the cue ball is just too close. You're asking for trouble. Nice control. Order key here. Got to get the right angle on the one to bottom right to allow the one just to the left of it, the two yellows together, to go bottom left. Obviously the one by the 8 ball, I don't think it comes down the table past the 8 ball, so you need to get on that into the centre as well. Needs to avoid it. Yeah, nicely done.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
Perfect angle on it as well.
You could actually go one to bottom right here, take the yellow next to it, take the one to the centre. Just do your work in bunches if you wanted to.
Yeah, it's just how do you connect the one on the centre to the one on the left cushion? Because you don't want that to be your last ball, just in case you don't land right.
Well, I wonder if he's given a little bit of thought to maybe going the other way, taking the 2 at the top first, then coming back down. He had the option to if he wanted.
I think you just land too good here, don't you?
Yeah, I do agree.
He might play a gentle bump on the red and open up the yellow. Yeah, he's just looking at it now. If he catches the red quarter ball gently, he doesn't want to move it too far because he won't want to move it close to the 8 ball. But if he just moves it 2 rolls, he'll be perfect on the red to the top right, top left rather, and open up the other yellow down the table. Well, he moved it further to get it right out of the way, but he actually overhit the shot quite significantly.
Well, that was the issue with playing it that way rather than your way. The idea is the same, but in playing it firmer to make sure the red was out the way, it meant the cue ball was doing a lot more mileage just because it was hit harder. Simpleness of it.
He's now got to come down the table and spin the cue ball around 3 cushions to get back to the middle of the table. This is high tariff.
You've got to hit it hard as well to avoid the 8 ball.
Go on
hell
the
of a
hammer.
shot.
Go on the hammer. That was brilliant. And he's got that half a turn of angle I think he needs to get behind the final yellow now.
I think he's actually ball in hand perfect. It's an unbelievable shot that from Stevie.
He was ball in hand perfect. What a shot that was to recover the situation. That wasn't his best, Mike. That really wasn't his best.
No, he's played better shots. Yeah.
There's plenty of room to overhit that shot. Just don't underhit it and put yourself under pressure. He's already had a couple of mistakes at the back end, missed doubles and missed being able to open up the 8 ball. No mistakes this time.
Fine.
4 next year.
Oh, and that can be the difference. Look at that break compared to Mark's last one.
I hope
Very similar.
I hope Marc Fleming wasn't watching that because it was all towards his corner as well. He heard nothing, so you're thinking it's going to be dry, then you're thinking it's going to be scratched, and then finally a red drops in, and then Stevie Dempsey has a beautiful layout for a chance to go and win this match. May have to just pull out one shot here. Could go the plant first shot, but it's very off angle, so he's coming down the table.
Balls in play.
It's just how he deals with the 2 reds nearest the top cushion. They're a little bit off angle. That's a poor shot. It's a poor shot.
Has he got away with it? I don't think he has.
No, he's given hope here to Marc.
This is really hard to get saved as well, with the yellow over the top left corner.
He felt he could get through to cut the red in, and he couldn't. And he has not hidden any of the yellows. So the only thing he's done here is just made the 8 ball slightly tricky. But he does have the yellow to the left-hand side of it. Obviously, the yellow on the right cushion is a tricky spot. But from where Marc was 2 seconds ago,
Oh, you'd take this, yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely. Stevie Dempsey burns a chance to win the match.
sort of feels like Stevie's season to me. He's had enough opportunities to win this match, and if this was 2023, you feel like he would have won this match already. Just keeping his opponent interested. Didn't want to be absolutely straight, but has just that quarter turn of angle just to be able to screw back up for the one into left centre, or even the one top of the table, depending on how far back he wants to come. He might not pull it back even that far. He might go just pull it back a couple of inches, and then he can go left centre off 2 cushions to leave the cue ball on the top rail to make it even better to come down. Now he does decide to pull back for the one on the top, which works just as well.
Never ideal bumping the 8 ball out to then land on it, but it's about as controllable as you could want. Oh well, playing short position, okay.
Yeah, it was just one of those. He needed either a turn more angle or a turn less, so that he could play the bump with control, or he could just drop it in and have a straight 8 ball in the corner.
Oh, that was tight.
Does that need to be looked at? That'll be really interesting. I think our referee is just considering now, and I think this will be looked at. You know,
I think it has to be.
That was incredibly close, and we have talked about Marc at the 15 seconds a shot. Now Stevie's talking about the string on his shirt as well. This is interesting. That is really interesting, actually.
Yeah, Stevie's a real one. That was. That's great to see. Okay, Marc needs a break and run here to stay alive. 6-5 down. Stevie Dempsey on the hill.
Oh, what a break. What a break.
Oh,
not again. You cannot make it up. His break, that's 3 straight he's gone in that corner. This time, the cue ball was absolutely nowhere near it. He did not deserve this.
Oh, that's so tough.
Oh, how many kisses did it need to get into that corner pocket? My word. The last 2 times you can be critical because the cue ball was close. This time, it could not have been better.
The only thing you would say is I think it was dry anyway, wasn't it? So...
Yes, it was, but I mean...
You're probably giving up first chance either way.
I mean, you're definitely giving up first chance either way, but ball in hand with a slightly awkward layout at the top, you're giving Stevie Dempsey an opportunity to open it up. The ball in hand did make a difference there. Okay, it's not as big a difference as making a ball and being kicked in off, I agree with you, but from Marc's perspective, I guarantee if you went out to him and said, oh, well, by the way, it was dry anyway, no problem, so he wouldn't agree with you. He would not
I'm
agree
just
with
trying
you.
to give him a little bit of a silver lining.
So, 2 at the top of the table. Can he manufacture a plant to top left? Can he play a plant to top right? I think the yellow's in the way. Those 2 are still tough. Well, he's gone for the plant top right. Or even maybe slides by the other red to top right-hand corner. Be careful if he plays it that way round. Where's the red that's near the pocket going to go? Or if he plays the plant, where's the red going? Oh, it went clean. Can you believe that? If it went clean, why not? I mean, he must have not had the angle just to follow through and play the red top left next.
He's never played that gap, has he?
If he's got the gap to bottom left, he's been very lucky.
I think the gap to top right, but I think he's got the one bottom left as well, yeah.
There's no way he can have played for that gap. He must have been playing to be an awful lot further across the table. I'm not sure the 8 ball goes to the top right-hand corner here, so they're still working this. This is not guaranteed.
You can see there, I think it just does.
Can he get there, though? He might have to pull back for left centre. There you go. It looks like it does just go, but if he's just off straight, he might have to pull back for left centre here. Last time he played short position like this, it went all wrong.
That's an excellent shot, though.
Yeah, this time he gets on it. Not as nice. He wanted to be almost at the cushion to make it straight, but he'd take this. He'd take this to win any match.
And in it rolls. Stevie Dempsey gets the win over Marc Fleming. And the Hammer moves on in Pro Series 10.
There was a 2-inch string.
And, well, we'll ask him about this. He's obviously aware of something, but we'll get the word on that. Stevie's going to join us in the studio in just a second, so do stay with us. We'll get the word from the Hammer to wrap up this afternoon session here at the Ultimate Pool Pro Series.